So I was in the middle of a live and we lost power. So I'm back, and what I've done is I've added eyebrows. In the first part of the live, we had done some primer, two different kinds of primer, and we were talking about Farmasi makeup. So I'm going to try and pick up where I left off, and I will later on delete the original. So if you were there for that one and you were wondering what happened, yeah. In the middle of the frigid weather, we lost power. So thankfully, we got it back on in about 15 minutes. But I'm going to go ahead and reprime my lips because now I'm starting to dry out a little bit. I'm very thankful that we use propane because we didn't have to suffer any major losses on our heat. But what I've done is I applied my primer and then I went with the VFX Pro foundation, and I like that one because it looks better on camera to me. Whereas some foundations, they look great in person, but they don't look great on camera. So I kind of want both since I'm going to have to be looking at myself in both places. So I want it to look good everywhere, in the sunshine, in my car, on camera, in my mirror, wherever I am. I'm going to use a little bit, oh dear, I've got the cat. I'm going to use a little bit of the Farmasi. This is the transparent, let me get my glasses. This is the transparent finishing powder, and it's just transparent. It does leave a little bit of a white residue, but I like to go over any areas that need a little blurring with this because it will just kind of blur everything out. Just kind of blend it in. And that way, hopefully, when I take pictures and I'm on camera, everything won't be so visible because I don't want to see every pore in my face, no matter where I am. The only place that I really won't use this would be under my eyes because it can be a little bit drying. Usually that's all I'll need. Nice. It looks nice. Okay, so once I'm done with that, I'm going to jump straight in to using my bronzing powder. I hate that I have to keep putting on my glasses. This is the Terracotta Blush Powder. And this one looks like that. Now, for all intensive purposes, this is a bronzer. So our bronzers actually will bring a lot of warmth to the face. And so when I'm doing a really fast makeup, I love this kind of thing. And I'm trying to find the right brush here. I want to use my contour brush for this one. I can use my blush brush. So I've got a slanted blush. Oh my goodness, now I can't talk. Slanted blush brush. Just gonna get some of that on there. And then with anything that has shimmer in it, I always want to make sure that it's going to apply nicely. So I'll try it on the back of my hand first. And if you kind of diffuse the color in onto your hand first, it works it through the brush a little bit. And then when you go to your cheek or wherever you're going to apply it, it won't actually be like a blob. So you'll see that it goes on nice and soft then. And it does have a little bit of shimmer. So if you're afraid that that shimmer is going to get into those fine lines and wrinkles, just either apply it very lightly or skip it altogether. I'm not at all worried about it. I'm a very expressive person. If my makeup is in my fine lines and wrinkles, then that's okay by me. But some people, you know, it really bothers them. So, and I'm just going to use this as an all over. Just give me a little bit of color. Make it look like I have a little bit of a sun-kissed glow, even though there's no way I've been out in the sun. And I'm just going to sweep this in and take it across my nose, just as if I really were out in the sun and got a little bit of extra color. So I hope that you don't lose your power wherever you are. Like I said, it wasn't bad here, but still kind of one of my worst nightmares was to lose the power and be sitting around in the freezing cold. We only have one propane heater that will work without power, but I think that would keep us from freezing up too badly. We just might all have to camp out in the family room. And with 2 large dogs, that would be a lot of fun. Lots and lots of fun. Because they would think, we're having a party. We're having a party. Everybody's sleeping together tonight. Literally be a 2-dog night for us. So I'm just going to use that as a little bit of contour. And I'm going to bring it up a little higher right there where I have a jowl, just as a little soft contour. Little soft contour. And I like this stuff so much, I'm actually going to take it over my eyes softly. And this is definitely something that I do, especially in the summertime. You know, I have less and less time for makeup. Wow, that's a really loud truck out there. I'm sure you can hear that. But in the summertime especially, you know, I feel like I have less and less time. Maybe it's because the days are longer and longer. I don't know. But less and less time to get things done. So I want to do something really quick. Although it can pick up those little lines and wrinkles on my eyelids, I'm not going to worry too much about it. Now, I did apply this nice conditioner on my lips. So I've got a bit of that left over. I'm just going to smear it out and smudge it around as kind of like a primer so that when I put my lipstick on, it won't actually go into my fine lines. And I'm going to use this liquid lipstick by Farmasi that I love. It's a little messy looking, but this one's in Wild Rose. It's a really pretty color, and it's one of my favorites. I'm not going to use a lip liner because this is going to dry down and it's not going to go in any of my wrinkles anyway. Just got to get that just right because when it dries, it's not going anywhere. And I'm overlining as well, so it takes a little bit of a steady hand. And there it is. Now, once it dries, it'll pretty much sit still and stay there for a long time. So I'm going to try not to mess that up. And I'm going to go straight into doing a really easy, I am going to do a little bit of blush over the color that I did before. I'm just going to grab my pink from my triple palette there, a little bit of pink, and I'm just going to touch it lightly on the top of my cheekbone. I feel the need for color today. little bit on the top of my cheekbone. I feel like looking rosy and bright. Sounds like a Christmas song, doesn't it? Christmas and rosy and bright. And again, I'm just going to take a little bit over the top. I'm really not going to do any eyeshadow. I don't always do eyeshadow. I am going to add a little bit of some eyebrow mascara to my brows just to color the little hairs a little bit more. And I like the way it looks, and it gives it a little bit more of a realistic feel. This is not necessary though. Just something I like to do sometimes. Well, I hope wherever you are safe and warm and having an amazing day. I know I plan to have an amazing day. And I'm super happy about Christmas and spending it with my family. I know that's not always easy. Sometimes it's hard, with extended family members, but we get through it. We'll all get through it. And if you don't have anybody to spend Christmas with, then there are a couple of creators I've seen that are in their 80s. They're actually doing a little promotion where they're going to spend all day long with their friends that are also in their 80s that are alone. But you can always join me, watch through some videos, and we'll feel like we're together. Okay, we're going to do some quick lashes, and then I'm going to get off of here before we lose power or you lose power, or we just go crazy. We don't get very many cold winters in North Alabama, so I don't mind the cold weather. But when it gets down to around 0, that's when I'm sort of against it. So you don't move to Alabama because you want to be in the cold weather. You move here because they have mild winters. And depending on where you are, you're not far from the beach. My eyelashes are really straight, so I have to curl them several different ways from the root to the tip so that they'll actually hold a curl. And I'm going to show you this mascara that I used before I actually started trying everybody else's mascara. This was my favorite, and this is by Farmasi. It's Double Lash Extend. And the reason that I like this is because you can unscrew it this way. And I love the brush. And there's hardly anything on there. And then when you put it back in, you unscrew it the other way, and it's full of mascara. So you can do a really thicker look. I have some other mascaras that I like, as well as this and better, but I wanted to show some Farmasi products because I had a couple of people request. So I wanted to talk about what I thought was worthwhile and what wasn't. And I think what I said before in the other video, if you didn't see it, what I said was that their primers, with the exception of their eye primer, Their primers and their foundations are all very good. And you buy them according to your skin type, of course. So all their foundations and primers are good. That's probably my favorite thing, with the exception of the concealer. Concealer is my absolute favorite thing of theirs. In fact, I generally only use their concealer. A lot of the other things on their website are really not my favorites or not even worth buying. So if you're going to purchase something through my Farmasi website, best to send me a little message first and just tell me what you're thinking. And that way, if it's a waste of money, I'm happy to tell you. Because I've ordered almost everything, many, many different things. I've already wasted the money, so you don't have to. Okay, so that's it. I mean, it's a basic, nice mascara. The thing that I love about it, though, is that brush. But like I said, we have other things that are in a similar price range that offer better things, like tubing mascaras. This one I've never had any problems with, but if you have really, really oily skin, this would not work because oily skin can make everything kind of smudge. Especially when you get to the summer months when everybody's warm and sweaty, and no, this would not be my first choice. It's not bad. If you have it, it's not bad. Keep it, don't throw it away. Go ahead and use it, but not the favorite. And I do like they're I'm not a big eyeliner fan, but their eyeliners are nice, and I'm going to show you how I have used these before. I'm not a big eyeliner fan, but I like to put a little bit on occasionally. And these are pretty creamy, even though it's freezing in here. In this room, it's especially cold, so it's not going to want to spread as well as it normally would. So if you just put it on and let it sit on the skin for a minute, let it warm up just a teensy, and then you can take a smudger brush. And what I like about these is they last me all day. So they're definitely a product that's worth trying if you're interested. And then I'll show you one other pencil that they have that's really amazing. And I don't have one that beats it. So I just smudge it out. It's very, very blendable. Those are nice. Just give it a little blend to soften it. And it looks good. Then my favorite one is this. This is the bomb diggity. This is called Ink Liner. And they're smudge proof and waterproof. And of course you can just layer them up if you want. You can layer them on top for a totally different look. They're nice and thin, so you can bring them all the way in. And if you have trouble with dragging this, use a little stamping motion instead. So if you have problems with applying a liquid liner, it's no big deal. Just take it and stamp it. I usually put it against my lashes and then give it a little stamp. And I'll do that all the way in as far as I feel like going. But you can get all the way in with this, even to that point where it tickles. Just a quick little dabbing, stabbing, stamping, not stabbing. We don't want to stab. That's the last thing we want to do. And then for me, that's just a little bit too harsh, so I will go over it with a little bit of powder. Kitty, I didn't think you were out here with me. You bad girl. She's a bad girl, but I love her. She's a bad, bad girl. Just going to take a little bit of brown and go over that to soften it a little bit. A little bit. Of course, I grabbed a gigantic brush. That was all I could find. It's all I could see. Right there on top to soften it just a little bit. They do have those pencils in a lot of different colors, and I'm just going to take that brown and use it as a little bit of a contour here too. Windshield wiper, stroke it in up here. I'm looking very glowy and bronzy on my end, which looks really nice to me. I feel like I'm ready to go on a little Jamaican vacation right now. I'm ready for a Jamaican vacation. Not really. I'd rather go to Florida. Honestly, I would rather go to Florida. Nothing wrong with Jamaica. Just wasn't my favorite place. Okay, so now that that's done, the only thing left to do is the concealer. And I like to add a little bit of extra moisture under my eyes. Again, I've already done that once. But when I applied my foundation, I did not apply it under my eyes at all. So I'm just going to tap a little bit of extra moisture under my eyes. And then use my concealer. Now, if you have dark circles, you definitely want to use, or darkness around the eyes, you definitely want to use a color corrector first. I do have some darkness on the inner part of my eye, but I'm not going to do anything about that today because I don't have a color corrector that's Farmasi that will do anything for me. And I want to show you just how good the whatever this stuff is called this concealer is. Oh my goodness. That's the only problem with going live. When you forget what you want to say, you're caught. You're caught red-handed. There's no way you can get out of it. All right, so I'm going to use my sponge. I'm going to spray a little bit of setting spray on the tip, and I'm going to place a little bit of this concealer on my hand. Well, I actually don't want to do it there because I've got shimmer. Gonna scrub that off. Let's get that off, and then we'll try it. A little bit right there. This is in the color, what color is this? It's fairly light. I believe it's biscuit. Yes, this is in the color biscuit. And then I'm just going to dip the tip of that in there, just in part of it. And I'm going to start out here. Normally, you would not want to use such a gigantic blender. And I'm going to wing that out so that it kind of gives me a little bit of a lifted look. I will use my fingers to blend it here. And then I'll take the back side where I have my foundation still and just blend it into my blush. And the same with my eyeshadow. Just overlapping it just a little bit so that everything looks nice and soft. Now I'm looking at this up close and it's looking pretty good. I like to let it sit for a minute to see if it's going to crease and then go back and touch it up. So there's one eye done, and I see that somebody had a comment or question, and I'll answer that here in just a sec. So there's one eye done and one eye not done. Same process for the other eye with this gigantic sponge. Oh, what was I thinking? And it really is the tiniest bit of concealer on there. Tiny, tiny, tiny. And just flip that over, blend it out a little bit. And then while I let that sit there, I'm going to take just a little bit. You ever notice with me, it's always a little bit. I must say a little bit like 10,000 times. I'm going to take just a little bit of brown eyeshadow. And I'm going to go under my eyes for a little bit of definition. Just a little bit now. I have to laugh at myself today. I'm such a goober. Such a goober. Well, I hope you don't have anywhere to go today unless you're in a sunny, bright location. Because it just seems like if you don't have to get out, don't do it. Bring this up a little bit here. So blend those together. And of course, my notifications are going crazy. I'm sorry about that. Blend that upward. And then a second look. Anything that goes out of whack right in this area, I'm going to be blending until it looks soft enough. Because that's definitely an area, a problem area for me. And that's not looking too terribly bad. So let's see what we got for questions here. Not looking too terribly bad on my end, even though we started and stopped and started and stopped. Okay. Oh, I imagine in Wisconsin, you poor person. My fuzzy sweater, it's actually a, I don't even know where I got it. I got it a couple of years ago, but it's a vest and I love it because your arms are still free to, do your work. But yeah, it's so cold. So, Cindy, the brand is Farmasi, and I will send you a link if you want a link. Maria, yes, happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody. So good. And Shannon, yeah, we're back. I know. It was so weird. I was sitting here in the beginning and I think it was like an 8-minute live. And then all of a sudden the lights went out and I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? And we had lost power. And so I went back and watched the video and you couldn't even tell that the lights went out. It just went blank and I was like, oh no. So I tried to go back in and comment to some people and say, we lost our power, but thankfully it wasn't too long. Yeah, where I am in Alabama, it's actually 0 degrees and the wind chill is like -17. So it may be up to 4 degrees now. It's up to 4 degrees. When I woke up, it was 0. I was like, that's not right. That's not right in Alabama. Okay. Anyway, well, thanks so much for coming back or for hanging out to begin with. And I hope you stay warm and toasty wherever you are, unless you're in a beautiful tropical climate or it's summertime where you live. Anyway, thanks for watching and Merry Christmas. Bye.